Welcome into the Fantasy Football Forge. As always, I'm Steve, and it is time today for a quick lesson on Chase Brown, one of my favorite running backs, as you can see, to come out in the 2023 NFL Draft. Now, this is, I don't want to say unexpected. This is a video that I am beaming to make, and I did not have this planned, but I have been looking for this type of news report. I will get to the tweet shortly on Chase Brown for some time now. So just heads up here, yeah, I'm a little bit biased towards Chase Brown. If you've been following me for any period of time for the past year and a half since the 2023 NFL Draft, I've been pretty high up on Chase Brown and really liked what I saw. You can see I was, very close to putting Jahmyr Gibbs above Bijan Robinson, had them in like the same tier there. So 1A, 1B. Devon Achane was my number 3 running back in that class, and Chase Brown right behind that. And last year, early on in the offseason, I was expecting Joe Mixon for legal reasons and whatnot, for and contract stuff, costs, for the Cincinnati Bengals to get rid of Joe Mixon. I was a year ahead of schedule. Then they go and they picked up Joe Mixon, gave him a decent contract. Not Joe Mixon. That guy from the Buffalo drafted Zach Moss, and he had a couple of big games last year. And so I'm like, Chase Brown, there could be durability concerns here. So I've been projecting as if Zach Moss gets the RB1 role. But okay, before we get to the tweet, just so you know where we're at right now with Chase Brown, I don't expect this. This is why I'm here. I'm getting you ahead of, hopefully ahead of the crowd here on Chase Brown. Things could carry Chase Brown up. This could be one of those trains that doesn't stop, and all of a sudden he costs too much by the time we get to draft day. I could see that happening, possibly. But ADP 131, running back 42. You're going to see, I think that's one heck of a value if you're doing, especially if you're doing, what's the underdog, the drafting, the season-long draft things. I can't think of the name right now of that format. So here's the tweet. Charlie Clifford, who is a reporter for WLWT Cincinnati. Specifically, he is the sports columnist for the Miami Student. I assume that's Miami of Ohio. Regardless, he follows and reports on the Bengals and recently tweeted that Chase Brown continues, this is the tweet, Chase Brown continues to take the majority of reps at running back with the ones. I literally have been looking for this report a couple times a week, trying to figure out what that has looked like. I haven't been able to find that he was running with ones. Apparently he has been running with ones. And here we go. The news is in. So I got to adjust the projection. Once again, maybe there are reasons for this that I'm not aware of. And let people know in the comments, like, is Zach Moss injured? I don't see any kind of tag on him on Fantasy Pros website. Is there some kind of insider news that you have? Feel free to share that. And please be accurate with it. Even provide sourcing would be the best case scenario. But time to adjust the projections. So I did this on the projections that I actually used in order to make my original rankings for this off season, and then I had Chase Brown taking a fair amount of the rushing workload for a backup running back, 40%, but we bumped that up now to 60%, and that is still a fairly conservative number. That's still giving Zach Moss, like I said in the reverse, a decent amount of this work, 40%. There will be somebody else that'll take some carries here and there in some games, but for the most part, this should be, I think, if anything, a conservative number if he is truly going to be their RB1, if they're going to give him the chance to shine. Then we look at the adjusted projection, but hey, at least that gives us a little bit of room that maybe they're not going to, they're going to be a little bit concerned about the durability, give Zach Moss a little bit of an increased workload every third drive and an extra drive, a half or something like that. So this is the adjusted projection. When we look at the target share here, I adjusted it. I had it at like 8%. But looked back at Joe Mixon over the past 3 years, and his average target share, has been above like 12% there, but 11%, 14%, 9.5% over the past 3 years. So I gave Chase Brown 9.75%. Originally did 10%. Once again, trying to be conservative here. So did lower that a little bit, but I think we've got room to definitely go above this number. But sticking with those conservative numbers, and without any touchdowns projected, which is how I do my rankings, kind of give an optimistic floor of these guys, is how I like to look at my rankings. I projected at, it came to 9.7 fantasy points, but what's important is that is the 12th highest in those projections for the running back position, so the RB12 is where my projections put him. Then when we do look at the touchdown potential for Chase Brown on this team in this offense, well, when we look back the past 3 years, Joe Mixon last year tied for was the sixth most touchdowns in the league, at least at the running back position, with a total of 12 touchdowns. In 2022, we see 9 touchdowns, 14th in the league. A bit of a dip compared to the norm. 2021, 16, 4th in the league. So nice high upside potential. But the top half of the league in touchdowns, I think, is a number that would be, if anything, conservative here. We've never seen Joe Mixon in this offense as the starting running back produce below the top half. So we expect 8, 9 touchdowns to be the case. And we know that there is potential for that to be a much higher number. So, to me, I think easily he's a top 20 running back, a no-brainer there if he is the RB1, even if he's the RB1 in a limited role with Cincinnati, especially full PPR. Like, the more points per reception, the better that bodes for Chase Brown. So, I have him currently ranked 19th, and that's out of precaution that he is not the RB1. We'll wait to cement this news in a little bit further, and then I'll really think about exactly who I want to draft him above. But for now, one heck of a value, I believe, especially with the upside potential of having an RB1 even that you can get, around player 100 in your drafts if you're drafting, right now. So just wanted to get this out there, get ahead of the hype train that may be coming Chase Brown's way. Peace out. Take care. I'll see you soon enough because this is just going to be an additional video this week.